Hi, and welcome to the weekly general love reading for January 25th, 2019. So what we do with the general love readings is that we look at the general energy between you and your person. And your person is just whoever you have on your heart at the moment. It could be a crush, it could be somebody that you're interested in, it could be your partner, somebody you're dating, somebody that you're wondering if they have more feelings for you. You know, it could be anybody. Just somebody that you have on your heart. This is a romantic relationship reading. And we're just going to look at the general energy and dynamics and what to expect this week. Okay, guys? That said, anything you need to know about me is in the description, okay? It's my contact information, my, like, how to book a reading with me, and some people like to donate. I have received a couple of monetary donations this week, and I just wanted to say I went ahead and bought a mini deck of the Tarot of Pagan Cats. I used to use that all the time on this channel. So that I could do a year ahead spread with them, because I can't fit them all around. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. But I just wanted to let you know anything you need to know about me is in the description. If you have any questions, any comments, like let's say you don't want to leave a comment like to my video, you can do that there, okay? But I'm not going to waste anybody's time anymore. We are going to name these piles. Pile number 1 is the red heart. Pile number 2 is the pink heart. Pile number 3 is the black heart. Pile number 4 is the green heart. Pile number 5 is the yellow heart. And pile number 6 is the blue heart. So I'm going to let you guys think about that. We are using a new deck. It's a deck that's on top. It's messages from your guides. And I really like the person that designs these cards. They're very, very simple, but I find that the simple messages can sometimes be the most profound. And with the kind of art, it speaks to me intuitively. You know, some decks really speak to different readers for different reasons, you know, and for me, the person that designs these cards do, okay? So I just wanted to throw that in so you knew that was a new deck that we're reading from. So if you have picked your pile, then we're going to start. If you haven't, go ahead and pause it so that you can pick, okay? Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and start with pile number 1, the red heart, and see what your relationship dynamic is going to be. Okay, so you have the Empress and the Moon, okay? So major stuff going on, okay? Major stuff going on. You have the Mountain and the you have the Mountain and the Note, the letter, okay? You've got Celebration and Boredom. That's kind of interesting. Okay, so here's the deal. With you guys, first off, you guys got an extra card of these. Everybody else gets one. Hopefully. I only noticed when I was putting down the heart and it moved. I was like, oh, there's a second one there. Oh, well, you know, I felt like it was supposed to be there. But yeah, okay, so this is major. This is going to be a major week because we have the major arcana here. We've got the Empress. She's talking about abundance, you know, so there's going to be a lot of abundance of joy and happiness and positive emotions and things like this. This is a very positive card. Now, the Moon does say that there's something that is hidden still, though. Something that needs to be communicated that's not communicated. If there's something that has been standing in your way, that thing is gonna, I feel like that thing is gonna start moving this week. I don't feel like it's gonna be totally out of your way this week, but I feel like it's gonna start moving, okay? So some kind of obstacle is gonna start moving, and you're gonna get a letter about it, or an email about it, and this email might have something to do with the Moon, a text. You know, it's just an electronic message of some kind. It's just reaching out, communicating with you, either about this obstacle or communicating with you about some feelings that are hidden. I feel like with the Moon energy, it's more feelings, okay? The Celebration card's great. I mean, this lets me know that you're going to be very happy, you know? At the same time, we also have Boredom, which lets me know, there's going to be some of that too, so it's going to be really well rounded. One thing that I'm getting intuitively is that this boredom card might talk about your partner, your person. There might be a time where maybe they zone out or something like that, and you wonder if they're just bored with you or they're just not paying attention or something. They've just got a lot on their minds, they just have a whole lot. I mean, especially, I'm assuming that the letter from, about this obstacle for most of you guys is going to come from your person. So if they're trying to solve a problem here and they've got some feelings that are hidden, and they kind of zone out, it's probably because they're thinking about it, okay? Because seriously, I mean, it's really hard to, be working on a problem actively in your head and not be able to, and do anything else at the same time. So, the bottom line is that you're going to be happy, though. I mean, there's going to be a lot of happiness. I don't feel like the boredom is like, I don't feel like that's really going to be a problem. It's just, heads up, if somebody acts bored, there's a lot of stuff going on this week for you guys, okay? So, you're going to have, I feel like you're going to have a pretty good week, given that stuff. All right, pile number 2. Those of you who picked the pink heart. We have the 6 of coins and the lovers. How awesome is that? And we have unconditional love. And we have the path and the whip and broom. Okay. So, this is a good spread for you guys. You're going to find that in your relationship this week, things are going to feel really fair, really balanced, okay? Everybody's needs are going to be met, okay? That's awesome. You guys will probably come together in some way this week. If this is somebody that hasn't contacted you or that you haven't been intimate with in a while or something like that, they're going to contact you. They're going to be intimate with you, something like that. I mean, it's like this person wants to be with you and they're making a gesture to let you know that they want to be with you. Okay. For those of you who are married, this is somebody, and you're thinking about your spouse, your partner. This would be like maybe a renewed passion in the relationship. For those of you who this is somebody that you're interested in, just know that this person's gonna want to come forward. Okay, this person really wants to be with you. We've got unconditional love here, though. Also, and I mentioned, it's unconditional love. It's not love, it's unconditional love. And I think that's really important to discern the two, because, I know that before I felt an unconditional love towards another human, I thought that I knew what it was, but I really didn't, okay? And, I should have known because my dad showed me unconditional love, but I didn't understand it completely until I had my child. But seriously, it is so powerful. It's one of those things like, I have a friend that shows me unconditional love. I don't even know if he knows just how unconditional it is. But it's like I can do some of the most horrible things and he'll be patient and kind and wonderful with me, and I feel like I don't even deserve it, It's just he just doesn't get mad, I guess, or something like that. But yeah, it's really powerful, and I feel like this is coming from both of you. I feel like this is something that you are sharing, okay? Now, unconditional love, it's basically, I feel like it's a very high form of love, right? But I also feel that sometimes we want to maintain that and we can't do that all the time. So just kind of keep that in mind. But don't worry about that this week because you've got it there this week. And the thing with the path and the broom and whip, so broom and whip, can represent tedium, and doing things over and over and over again. Some people interpret it, I've never interpreted it this way, just so you know, I just want to be thorough here, and I also want it to be turned the right way. Some people interpret this card as, like sexual stuff, and things like that. I personally have never interpreted it that way. I'm not getting that here. I just wanted to inform you guys. I feel like there's still a choice in this relationship. It's like maybe there's this person, and like this person could either choose between you and somebody else, or maybe you could choose between them and somebody else, or maybe, I mean, it feels like there's some kind of decision that needs to be made. And it feels to me, for most of you, it's going to be between two people. For some of you, it's just like, are we going to buy the truck or are we going to buy the van? It's like, there's going to be just a decision that's kind of a boring decision like that. Well, actually, that wouldn't be that boring. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it would be a decision that's, not so much like me versus her or him versus the other guy. Just know that whatever it is, this person wants stability. They want the same, I love this writer named Milan Kundera. He wrote The Unbearable Lightness of Being. And what he said in that book, I believe, was nostalgia is the longing for the same thing over and over again. I thought that was a really pretty quote. And it's like, that's what this person wants. This person wants something stable. This person wants a routine. They want to wake up next to the same person in the morning. They want to, spend their day, they want to come home to the same person at the end. This is somebody who wants that family life, and that's what's going to make this decision, is who does he feel like or she, sorry, who does he or she feel that can be that person for them, can embody that kind of energy, because that's the kind of person they want to be with. Somebody who's stable, somebody who they can depend on, somebody who's reliable. Some of you guys might actually be laughing because your person might be the very opposite of that, But we tend to want what we don't have, right? So anyway, this is great though. I mean, really, your week's going to be great. Just know that your person's going to want some routine, okay? It's going to want some stability, want some structure, okay? And this decision might come up, okay? But really, I mean, with the lovers and unconditional love, I mean, you've got it all, and it's very balanced, very good energy for those of you who picked the pink heart. All right. Hi, those of you who picked the black heart. Wow, you got the World, the Page of Cups. We have the Fish, the Home, and Partnerships and Love. Okay. Some of you guys, this person might be somebody you work with. Just mentioning it because the fish tend to represent money and partnerships in love. It can be like you're partnered up in like a business or something like that, or you work together, that kind of thing. Just want to throw that out there because that's the first thing that I saw. Excuse me. This person is like, you're their person that they go to for everything. It's like, maybe they have somebody like they probably have some kind of support system, right? But you're the person that they like default to, okay? Like if they're out with their friend and something happens to them, they're going to be talking to that friend about it, right? But the very next person they're going to talk to about it is going to be you, right? Or let's pretend this person's married and so let's say they're out with their wife. I'm going to pretend like this is a man. Let's say they're out with their wife, and something happens, right? You're going to be the first person they want to tell that to, okay? And going even further, this person might even be somebody who would rather tell you about something than their wife, which... There's times where that's appropriate and times where it might be crossing some boundaries, but in general, it's like just basically you get them and they like that. You get them, they like that, and they want that kind of relationship with you. They feel very, very, very blessed to have found you. It's like you're one in a million. Like when we get the World, sometimes I think about it like you're their everything. You're their world. You mean the world to them. That kind of thing. I'm kind of getting like they could meet like everybody on the planet and nobody would compare to you. It's like that's what I'm kind of energy that I'm getting. It's like you're the one, right? Even if it's based on friendship, even if it's based on some kind of working relationship, it's like you're still the one for them, okay? We have the Page of Cups. I mention this every time we get it just because I feel like if I don't, maybe somebody might try to correct me or whatever. But the Page of Cups tends to represent, when we're talking about strictly love stuff, this can represent a proposal of marriage. So I do want to mention that. I don't feel like that's true for all or even most of you. It's just that might come up. But another thing, when we've got the World and then we have that coupled with this water, which is kind of interesting because we have you guys linked through business. I kind of feel like for some of you guys, this is going to be a long distance relationship that we're talking about. It's a very powerful one, very strong one, but it's a long distance relationship. Okay, so we have the way I'm going to interpret this is just straight up money at the home. Okay, or another way of interpreting it is the home is like the intimate area, where we have our public faces and then we have the faces that we have at our home. That tends to be where we're more intimate, okay? And so it can be like, I just realized that I basically just said this would be like money for intimacy. I'm not calling any of you guys prostitutes or anything like that. I did not mean it that way. I just meant that somebody that you make money with, you would bring, more intimacy there. Okay, that's what I meant. Gosh, I'm such a weirdo. Anyway, partnerships in love, they want to stick with you. You've got this world, depicted here too with the people holding hands, and everything. So I think it's kind of interesting how that motif came up twice. Partnerships in love, this person, I feel like this person does love you. I mean, really does, even if they're just a work friend, and when I say just, I mean, it's like, even if that's the role they're playing in your life right now, they do love you. They do care about you very, very strongly. And I mean, again, this person is like, you are really important to this person. Okay. This person really, really cares about you a lot. Yeah, gosh, I mean, this is really good though. This is really good. I feel like there's something more I need to say about this Lenormand. So I'm just trying to figure out what it is. Oh, okay. I see what it is. It's very subtle. Okay, so both of these cards can kind of represent a little bit more masculine energy than feminine energy, and I'm saying that for two reasons. One reason is we've got the money, and I know it's not fair, but still there's a big gender gap with how much one gets paid in many countries around the world. Okay, not all, but in many. Okay, so we have more masculine, ambitious, energy here. And then when we have a house, we have more masculine energy because traditionally the male might, for example, build the house or provide, for the family by buying a house or whatever. I feel like the pressure is more on men to do that than women. Not that women don't buy houses together or that women don't purchase houses by themselves or anything like that. I'm not saying that, but and then we've got two kings on here. Okay, so those are the two reasons why I'm mentioning the masculine energy. It feels to me like the two of you might be both maybe a little less how do I put it? Like, I don't feel like you're non-assertive or anything like that, but you guys might be a little bit more slow, both of you, to, like, bring something up, And I feel like this week there might be something that needs to be brought up, and it's calling for some more masculine energy. Like, I wouldn't say, like, any kind of probing. I would just say, like, assertion, just stating something outright, so that would be something else that I'd look for this week. But generally, this person cares about you a lot, and this week it looks really good for the two of you. Okay, I think that you're going to be getting a lot of reinforcement through, about how important you are to this person. I think that they might tell you more about that. They might get drunk one night and call you up and tell you. I mean, it just feels like there's a lot of expressing. There's a lot of expression there, and I mean, even though it's a long distance relationship, you could work with this person because the person that I work with lives a half a world away from me, and yeah, and he helps me a lot. So it could be anybody. All right. Okay, those of you who picked pile number 4, here is your reading. So what are things going to be like this week between you and your person? Wow, okay, so you guys have like a focus, okay? And I feel like the focus is in the social realm, okay? Because we've got the Hierophant, which, you know, you might have a lesson to learn from each other. There is that. But we have the Hierophant that usually represents some kind of socializing, you know, some kind of social institution. And then we have the Tower that tends to represent some kind of social institution, like for example, school or a big company, or it could represent, you know, just a big building, you know, like a library maybe, you know, something like that. The other way that this is interpreted is somebody who's like very, very introverted and alone. But I don't feel like that's the major energy here in context of this. You know, yeah, you might have an introvert that you're asking about, but we're talking about some kind of social context here, okay? So maybe you guys are going to see each other, or maybe you're going to be like taking a class together, or maybe you're going to be going to some kind of religious ceremony together. It's like there's something that's happening in public that's going to be affecting you guys, all right? We have the Ten of Wands here, which lets me know that you guys are, you know, you guys are holding on to something, probably something from the past. That's the impression that I get. Probably something from the past that, you know, isn't serving the relationship anymore, and it really just needs to be let go. I mean, I know how it is when, like, let's say somebody's been hurt and it's all like, oh, hey, remember when that happened, you know? Like me and my partner now, we've been together for 16 years, and like he asked me out. This is a great, like, you know, marriage like story here. He asked me out the first time he asked me out. He asked me on a date, and the following week, one of my friends, it was a mutual friend who was interested in me at the time, was all like, hey Greg, how was your date, you know, because he was like really jealous, and he was really nosy, and he wanted to know. And Greg said, what date? He had forgotten. He had forgotten that he asked me on a date, right? So let me apply that to this card, okay? So this card would be me, you know, and I do this, okay? I mean, I don't know if he gets it as a joke at this point still or not, 16 years later, but every so often I'm like, hey Greg, remember when you forgot our date? You know, I mean, I think it's funny. I think it's cute. I think it's a really sweet, weird story, you know, like, because it ended up postponing us getting together for at least 3 months, you know, and all of this nonsense. But I mean, basically it's like something like that. Something keeps being brought up, or there's some kind of theme that you guys just can't seem to see eye to eye on, you know, just some kind of thing like that you guys need to just let go. And I know how hard that is, because, you know, me and Greg have gone through some pretty serious things like that are very difficult to let go of. But I mean, in the end, you've got to move forward. You know, you can't move forward if you keep bringing this stuff into your present, is basically what I'm going to say. There's something about this public thing, though. This, like, there's some kind of destiny associated with it. You know, and I really want to make sure that you guys understand that this doesn't have to be actual physical public space. It could be like on an online forum or an online chat room or something like that. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be a physical space. Just mentioning that because I think that needs to be clarified. And then we have purpose. So it's like you guys have a purpose. You're coming together to do something together. That's why I kind of mentioned school. You know, it's like it feels like there's some major purpose to what you're doing this week. So I feel like you guys are going to be working together this week towards a common goal. Okay. And I'm not getting anything negative about this at all. There's, well, I guess the holding on can be difficult, sure. But I mean, I don't even feel like that's negative because that's normal in a relationship. It's not, I mean, it's not like somebody's made like really, really hurt. It's just somebody's holding on too tight to something that they just need to let go of, you know? So yeah, I mean, it looks like it's pretty good. Yeah. And I really feel like you're going to continue to go somewhere with this too. I feel like this purpose, you know, yes, I'm only reading for the next 7 days. I feel like this purpose though it's going to carry on into more weeks. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's just going to start this week, though. All right, guys? So you guys have a pretty good week ahead. All right. Hi, those of you who picked pile number 5, the yellow heart. All right. Okay. How odd. This is so interesting. Okay. This is so weird. Okay, but before you guys freak out, I need to start talking about it. Okay, so right here we've got pain, sorrow, depression, heartache, right? And we have that followed by like a vision for the future, something positive, something passionate, somebody wanting to move towards you, somebody, you know, who is, you know, somebody who is really like impassioned towards you. And here we've got the exact same thing. We have depression, confusion, like cloudy mind, you know, you can't see straight, like what's there, you know. I mean, this really, it is the depression card. And then you have that followed by love. I mean, this is the true love card in in the Lenormand. And then we have epiphany. So the only way I can interpret this, and I mean, sometimes these cards can only be interpreted one way, is that you guys, and I feel like it's on your side. I feel like this is a viewer. Most of you, this is a viewer. It might be your person, but that's like maybe 15% of you, okay? For most of you, the viewer, you have been hurt in some situation. It could be a long time ago or it could have been last week. And that hurt is going to be repaired like 3 or 4 times over this week, okay? There's going to be something that happens between you and your person that really repairs that. Like, very, very solid, okay? And you're going to have an epiphany. It's like an aha moment that this doesn't represent the relationship. This, for, you know, like either that person isn't the one that hurt you, or yeah, you're hurt, but this person truly loves you. You know, yeah, you had that happen, but there's still a future here. You know, it's like that kind of energy. It's like you just come to this realization that, you know what? Things are going to be great. Things are going to be okay. We belong together, and this is going to happen. I mean, that's just straight up, and this is your week, and I really feel like this week is going to turn around a lot of major things for you too, because I mean, you don't have an epiphany that goes from like ultimate depression to, you know, having a future and looking towards that future and everything. Love, you know, true love and all of that. I mean, you can't go from that to true love without it totally changing you, okay? So this is going to be a really important week for you. If there's pain this week, just know that by the end of the week, you're going to be way, you know, away from that pain. You're going to have some kind of resolve that's more than what you thought possible for this pain, okay? So you will get through this, okay? So if you're in pain right now, you will get through that, okay? So yeah, I mean, this is very powerful stuff. This is very major stuff too. I mean, it's kind of beautiful to me, and I know that it's like, what's beautiful about this? It's like kind of yucky. But I mean, no, it really is beautiful to me, because to come out of this and get to this point, you know, is, you know, that's really beautiful. One thing about this card I do associate with long distance relationships. I don't think that that's everybody, but I do feel that some of you have a long distance relationship. We also have the water in this one. I just associate water, and then when I see land, you know, and ships, I think about long distance. I also think about longing as well. So there's that too. But yeah, wow, that's a really profound experience you guys are going to be having. Wow. All right, those of you who picked the blue heart. Here we go. All right. So there's some kind of decision that needs to be made. Okay. In this relationship, I don't feel like it's going to be a difficult decision to make, but I feel like the decision's going to be made this week, but the action is going to be, it's not going to happen right away, but the decision's going to be made. So for example, it might be me going, okay, so my son has been asking me every day to buy him this Pokemon game. I've decided today that I'm going to buy it for him, but I'm not going to give it to him until his birthday, which is a month away, a couple months away, right? That's what I mean, okay? Like, the decision has been made, that's what he's going to get, for his birthday, but it's not going to go into action until some further date, So that's one thing that's going to be going on with you. And I actually feel like the decision has to do with getting away with negative thought, like getting away from negative thoughts, negative thinking. It might be an abusive situation. It might be something that just doesn't work anymore. But, negative thoughts, like, so if this isn't a person, for example, if your person isn't getting away from a negative influence in their life, like maybe an abusive brother or sister, or an abusive uncle or aunt, or mother or father or whatever, this would be somebody that's getting out of maybe a very, very stressful job, maybe getting out of a situation at work where they felt morally compromised and that was kind of tearing them up, But this decision is going to bring a lot of joy to you guys, okay? So I feel like this is kind of like a story more. Like, the decision's going to be made, somebody's getting away from something that's really, like, kind of messing with their mind, and then there's going to be, like, you guys are going to be so happy because that's happening. This, I think it's interesting that we've got two boats here. This can represent slow movement. This represents loyalty and friendship, okay? So I would imagine that you guys probably started off as friends, or you guys assumed that that's what you were going to be, and then it kind of grew. Some of you guys might be asking about a friend, and yes, there is feelings there. They're still in the beginning, but there are feelings there. If this is your person and you know that there's feelings there, then that doesn't apply to you. This applies to people who are asking about maybe a crush or a friend, okay? But, there is some kind of longing going on, and the ship in the Lenormand, I interpret as, I interpret it as a long-distance relationship usually. With boats, and water, especially if you can say land in the background, that tends to be something that I feel is like some kind of distance there, and the ship moving is like closing that distance, okay? So it could be metaphorical distance, there could be like a distance where you guys haven't been talking as much or something like that. But whatever decision that's being made, it's like an obstacle for you guys, because we've got a mountain in here, and mountains can stand in the way of things, right? They can be an obstacle to overcome, right? And we're talking about just basic symbol interpretation, for dreams, or for, just the basic symbol there. So I do feel some of you guys, this decision has to do with getting over something, okay? And again, this loyalty, it's like, I feel like this represents friendship for some of you and loyalty for others, okay? But the friendship is not a negative, Don't feel like, oh, well, for example, don't feel that, man, I have a crush on this person and I really, really like them, and then you find out, that there's friendship there, I mean, friendship is a really solid foundation that you can grow a relationship from. Some of my most rewarding relationships started off as friends, okay? And I promise that's not a bad thing. It's a good thing, okay? Especially if an obstacle is being eliminated here, especially if they're moving towards you, even if it's slow paced, like this card implies. There is a longing there. There's a lot of joy here. You guys are going to be happy, all right? So those of you who are asking about a crush or a friend, don't worry about that aspect. Be happy that they consider you a friend, because you can actually build off of that, And then again, for some of you, this is actually going to just be loyalty. And it could be, for example, I'm just pretending, I'm not saying this is true for all of you. It could be that the person makes a decision to leave their spouse, who was giving some negative feelings, and you too maybe privately kind of celebrate that, because it means that now you're free to be together. The divorce is going to be moving slowly. The person's going to be really longing for you, but in the end they're going to be loyal to you. Even though they left their spouse for you, they're still going to be loyal to you. So that's another way of interpreting it. And I just wanted to give an example so that it's clear, how that can apply to a real life situation. All right, guys? All right, so thank you so much for staying until the end of my reading. I really appreciate it. And I didn't say at the beginning, but this is a timeless reading, for those of you who are still watching. So no matter when you watch it, it's still going to apply for the next week. This is what your love life is going to look like, okay? The only other thing I want to say, and I really say this every time, but it's because I mean it and I really appreciate it. I love the feedback you guys are giving me. It's wonderful. I really treasure it. I read every single comment. I can't respond to every comment, but I do read them, okay? My communications guy, he does like kind of scan for like spam stuff, so he, I don't read the spam messages because he usually gets it before I can see them. But he does a really good job there. But yeah, I read every comment that he thinks is okay for me to read. So there's that. Like, if you were to leave a really, really insulting comment, like, hey, guess what? You're ugly and you're stupid or something. If you were to leave a comment like that, he'd probably delete that one too, because he's really protective of me. But basically what I'm saying is that I love your comments. I love reading them. And if you have a suggestion, go ahead and, leave me a comment or send me an email, because, down below in the description, you've got all of that information. And, I just love it. I love seeing my channel grow. It gives me so much verification that I'm doing the right thing. All right, guys?